99% of high-ticket coaches are lying to you. I've spent hundreds of thousands on courses, books, coaching, and I finally realized the truth. Most coaches are telling you the same lies just to get you to buy their products. That's the sad reality. And these lies are typically what's holding most people and you back from becoming a top 1% sales professional. And I know because they are the exact same lies I used to buy into. Once I stopped listening to them, I went from 10 to 15K a month to 145K a month in commissions. And that's why in this video I want to go over the biggest lies that you've been told about high ticket sales. This is exactly why what works right now in the trenches, not what used to work in the 80s or 90s. Now the first lie is follow a script. The first thing gurus want you to believe is you have to have the perfect question for the perfect time. The reason they tell you this? Because they have the perfect magical script that closes everyone, and it's probably gatekept behind thousands of dollars. Now you have some other coaches as well with no script selling, which banish completely the scripts and mention that you only have to build yourself up and you'll show up the way you're supposed to and you close the deal. I don't care how many Tony Robbins tapes you watch, you're not going to be able to close deals unless you're equipped with the right tools. See, neither of those approaches are wrong, full script selling or no script selling. The truth lies in the messy middle. Sales is just like a sport. There is no choreographed set of moves that will hit the knockout punch to the prospect, but you can't go into a fight without any training. Sales works in phases. You need to be able to understand the 9 essential phases of each call while being flexible enough to pivot within them while aligning with the prospect in clear communication. You're not a stone-cold robot following the script, but you're not a loose cannon as well, just showing up confidently. Certainty alone will never close you the deal. The second lie is being the best objection handler. Gurus will also tell you that you need to be the best at objections, and objections will happen no matter how good you are, so why not just master objections? So coaches will tell you practice objection handling as much as possible, learn the best objection handling scripts, and the sale doesn't start until you hear the first no. Bull crap. Let me tell you a quick story. I've sold for many companies, and I'll tell you, the people that I saw that were the master objection handlers and they had every single answer to every single objection were always tired and exhausted. Do you know why? Because what you focus on in life, that's what you will get. If you train and want to attract chaos, what do you think is going to get in front of you? You're always going to butt heads with prospects, and no matter how many times you're on top, this will still wear you down because you're constantly butting heads and handling objections with people. The reality is how to prevent going to bed without a migraine is being able to have flow in the sales conversation and preventing red flags and objections as you go. This is not to say you'll never get any objections, but if you only focus on your objection handling, what do you feel you're constantly going to find? When you want to hear objections, you're gonna trigger objections. So the action steps for you to take, I want you to look at the objections that you're getting typically throughout your call and think, what questions could I be asking during the call to make my job much easier? Why do you have to go through 15 minutes of objections and loops and advanced reframing when you can ask a simple question 15 minutes earlier and dissolve all objections to get an easy yes? Write the objections down on paper, and right below it, I want you to write what question can I be asking to prevent that objection. Right below, I want you to also ask what emotion is that prospect feeling when they're giving me that objection. Now, why is that important? Once you understand the emotion the prospect is pushing out when they give you the objection, if you help them unpack that emotion earlier in the conversation, for example, fear, uncertainty, or lack of trust, you're going to prevent that emotion from coming up at the end. So by bringing it up ahead of time, you're able to prevent that. And the third lie people tell you is framing. You need to frame your calls. Person joins your call, you need to frame them to have complete control. Let me ask you this. Do people like being controlled? When was the last time you woke up in the morning and I'm like, I need some more control in my life? Life in human psychology doesn't work that way. Instead of trying to control people with hard frames on sales calls, control the narrative of the conversation. A typical approach when it comes to framing people would be, hey, good to see you here, Chris. I want to find out more about your situation to see if you're a good fit for our program. Hard framing pushes the prospect away. Instead of framing, I want you to reframe. Stay flexible within the conversation. An example of it would be something like this. The prospect tells you, hey, I'm just here to find out about your prices, so let's get straight to the point. The focus of that prospect is on price. I need to be able to reframe them around a value-based conversation. So I can say something like this. Yeah, no issues. We can always go through the price. I need to understand if I can help you in the first place. So would you be against having a conversation to see if we are of value in the first place? So the big difference between the frame and the reframing approach is framing is very rigid and you're trying to control the prospect instead of reframing and changing their focus, changing the perspective as you grow. And just like a fine artist sculpts and molds away the clay, you need to be able to constantly reframe the prospect's perspective around the things you want them to focus on. Instead of price, focus on value. Instead of objections or concerns, focus on the ROI or the results that they're getting. Instead of the cons or the drawbacks of your service, reframe them to the pros and why these can be turned into benefits. Now, with those three lies in mind, you need to be able to understand what questions are you asking during the call to put the prospect in a buying environment. So if you want my 5 top questions to be able to do that, watch this next video and I'll see you there.